So today we're going to be taking a look at the Heretic Labs Article 1 and everything that you need to do to clean and maintain it. You don't need any kind of cleaning material or cleaning supplies or anything like that, any kind of liquid or anything like that. All you really need is a cleaning and a jamming rod like this here that comes with every gun. It even comes with your Heretic Labs Article 1 or any MTW, and some butt paper or otherwise cotton. You don't need this full size one. I mean, you can use the one that comes with pistols because of how short the barrel is. You just pop out the body pins just like any other AR. And the Article 1 and some of the other MTWs have locking body pins so they don't come all the way out. So don't just try to yank them out because they don't come all the way out. They lock in so you can't lose them. Get both pieces out, separate the upper from the lower, pop the hose from the lower. The best way to get the hose out of the lower is to make sure that that cable is flat all the way down. So you have as much room as you can to get that connector on the end of the hose out. Now, if you notice here, I am using the classic MTW lower. The reason I'm using that is because I wanted to use the Heretic Labs Outdoor with a stock. So I put the stock on the Heretic Labs lower and I stripped the absolute piss out of the screw on the end. It's more blown out than those lovely ladies at Brazzers. So this stock is permanently on the Article 1 lower, and I use the 10-inch outside, which is what I want the stock for. So this is what it looks like now. There's no way to change it. Now, the first thing you want to take off is this contact yoke right here. But before you take that off, you have to unplug the cable on the back. So just really easily grab it, pop it out, and then take yourself like a little Allen key and just pop out the yoke right here. Then you want to take that same Allen key and pop out this front plate. And there's, if you can see these little nasty purple BBs, that's why I'm actually cleaning it, because these are the nastiest bio BBs ever, and they leave a ridiculous film on the other side of your gun. God dang it, phone. So I see some people that get nervous at this part. Don't worry about it. This is a really, really strong hose. You just put it in like that, give it a nice tug, and I mean, yeah, it'll kink, it'll feel like it's gonna tear, but it's not gonna tear. You don't have anything to worry about. These are really strong hoses. And you slide your engine out, and there's your Inferno Gen 2. Now, you can just unscrew this and clean the inside of it. You really only have to do that maybe once every 1.5 to 2 years. I've done it already before, so I'm not going to do it now. Realistically, you really don't need to get inside of this unless it's giving you issues. Like I said, you might only have to do it like 1.5 to 2 years, depending on how often you play. But this piece right here is the part that you need to clean way more often. This is the barrel hop-up assembly like this. And as you can see, I've done the O-ring mod. Instead of using the spring on the inside of it, I find that it gives me more consistency. I wasn't having issues with the Article 1, but I was having issues with my 10-inch MTW, probably because of those BBs making it nasty and dirty. But I just put these O-rings on here, and it seems to keep the pressure of the hop-up to the engine more consistent. And it makes my shots more consistent. So slide your O-ring or spring off if you have that. Then pop off the C-clamp, and then pop off the retention ring. Turn your hop-up wheel all the way down. And then slide your hop-up or your barrel and bucking out. Now you can see here, it's pretty damn dirty and it's all discolored and stuff. See that little spot right there on the top? That is what you're trying to clean. That's really the only spot that needs to be cleaned on a bucking, because that is where the BB touches. That's where you're going to have slipping, and that's where you want it to be nice and clean and grippy, so every BB is gripped exactly the same and has the exact same amount of backspin coming off. So just take a dry Q-tip. Once again, you don't need to use any cleaning gel or cleaning liquid or anything like that. Dry Q-tip, and just scrub it on that nub right there in the middle of it. And make sure that there's no dirt or anything on it. Maybe go back through and hit the lips on the edge. Just, give it a nice little once over. Can't hurt. Now that you have it out, you might as well just clean the whole damn thing. Now, if your bucking looks like this, where it's all discolored and stuff like that, that doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that it's probably older. It wouldn't hurt to change it out, but like I said, I'm not having issues with my bucking, so I'm not going to change it out yet. When I start having issues, that'll be the first thing I'll look at. Now you have your barrel here. Clearly, I mean, I have an upgraded barrel. I don't have the stock barrel that comes with it, but this is true for your stock barrel or upgraded barrel. You can clean the barrel while it's still inside the gun. However, I don't recommend doing that because you can't get it all the way clean. You're just going to end up pushing more dirt back towards the bucking. The way you do it is you take your little bit of butt paper and you put it in that little slit on the end of the cleaning and unjamming rod. You only want a little bit on there, maybe about this much, because if you get too much on there, then it's not going to go into the barrel and you're just going to end up wasting your butt paper or cotton. It should look about like that whenever you get it attached to it. And then you just put it in the barrel and let the stuff work. I like to do it twice. I like to clean it one time with one piece of cotton or butt paper and then take that off and then put another piece on there and run it again. I mean, this is basically just how you do it. You just put it in there and you let it work. Spin the barrel around, spin the cleaning and unjamming rod around. You just want to make sure you're getting all of that debris and weird little film off the inside of the barrel from whatever BBs you were shooting. Now you get to the hop up. First thing you're gonna want to do is pop off that hop up ring, because there is, or the hop up wheel, because there is a little nub in here that's only being held in place whenever the barrel is inside of it. See that little orange nub right there? Now this is just a max, the nub that comes with the max hop up. So I was using an Omega nub, but I found that it was too aggressive for the lighter weight BBs, and this is primarily an indoor gun. So I switched to like a max hop up nub. Realistically, you should probably just keep the nub with what it comes with stock, because you're not going to need to use super heavy BBs with the article one. Go ahead and pop the wheel off all the way. Set your hop up down just like that with the hop up arm all the way open, and then go ahead and put your bucking back on your barrel. Just like that. You're going to want to look for that ridge on the bottom side of your barrel and match it up with the little ridge that's on the bottom side of the bucking right there. That is going to make sure that the nub of the bucking goes into that window on the barrel. And just give it a nice little push. Don't over tighten it, because you'll mess up how the lips are seating and you'll mess up the air seal. Just make sure it's nice and snug on there, but don't push too hard. And then now that you have something to make those lips more rigid, just go ahead and hit it with another dry Q-tip, just to make sure that it's all nice and clean. Might as well, since it's already out here. Now, some people like to put silicone gel around their bucking to make sure that it goes into the hop up smoothly. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but just make sure you don't get any silicone gel inside the hop up itself or on that nub, because if you do, your BBs are going to slip, you're going to get extreme inconsistencies, and at that point you might as well just buy a new bucking, because they're a pain in the ass to clean. Take your barrel and bucking and slide it into the hop up. Still, the hop up is totally disassembled. Take your C-clamp and pop that C-clamp on there. Now, a lot of people struggle with getting the C-clamp back on. You just got to play with it a little bit. The Wolverine guns are pretty forgiving with getting it on there and not being a pain in the ass. But you might have to spin it left and right. But just make sure you get that C-clamp all the way seated on there and it snaps, because that's what's going to make sure that your barrel is straight up and down within the hop up itself, making sure that your bucking and nub are putting a straight up and down pressure on the BB. Then you're going to take that retention ring, slide that retention ring on, and then take your nub and set it in the hop up like this, completely flat on the ground. Now, what I like to do, because I have issues with the nub falling left, right, all over the damn place, because it doesn't actually secure anywhere, hold the arm flat and then rotate the whole barrel assembly just like this. Once you get to this point here, you don't have anything to worry about. You're square. Go ahead and put the hop up wheel on there and make sure that everything's straight inside. And it should look something like that, where it's straight up and down. Now, sometimes it's hard to tell if your nub is actually going straight down into the barrel because it's round. Whenever you're holding it, you're going to be spinning it every which way. You're not going to be able to tell if you have a straight up and down grip on it. So what I like to do is I like to put it on the corner or the edge of a table with the ring, hop-up wheel over the edge, and then the actual feed tube flat on the bottom. Then you put your face down by it, and that'll make sure like that's straight up and down, guaranteed. So you just put your face down by it, look at it, and then make sure that the nub is going all the way down. It's easiest to tell whenever the hop-up is on full power. Turn it all the way up and then look. Then you can see if it actually is coming straight down or if it's going left or right. If it's going left or right, take everything apart and reassemble everything again. Try to make sure it's right. Because if it's not, then you're going to have a horrible time and your BBs are going to be flying left and right and all over the damn place. And then you just put it back together in the opposite order that you took it apart, except for one piece. You have to do one thing in a different order to make it way easier to put it back together. There goes the barrel in there, and as you can see, it's super stiff in there, which is good. We like to see that. Pop the engine in here, and now those two little ridges on the upper and that big ridge on the engine, that is what you're going to want to line up, because that is what is holding everything in place with that front plate. That's holding everything up there on that front plate. So here's the thing you got to do out of order. You take that yoke and you run the wire back through it, and then you're going to want to plug it in. Don't put the yoke piece in yet because you don't have the front piece holding everything in place. You just want that wire to go in there so you don't have to push it in there after the engine is all the way deep set inside of the upper. You can do it if you have a pair of like a needle nose pliers, but it's way easier just to do it this way and not have to worry about grabbing pliers and maybe crushing something or putting it in backwards or bending some pins or anything like that. Just put it in like this. Put this in first because it's way easier to do it this way. Just trust me, I've done it a million times. This is the easiest way to do it. And you see me put my thumb in here. I'm not putting my thumb on the part with the cable. I'm putting it on the flat part. And then you're going to take that plate and put the end that's closest to the barrel in first and then walk it down flat. It'll snap right into place. You'll hear a good solid snap. Don't start from the other end and slap it down because it won't work right. Put it in with the feed tube end first. Same thing with the hose as it was the first time. Just give it a solid little tug when it gets there. You won't have to worry about any kind of kink or anything. And if you do, you know, it's $7. You can replace it, but these hoses are very, very strong. I've done it a bunch and not broken one to where I had to replace it. Just snap that yoke into place. All of these plates should fit flush with the upper. If they're not fitting flush, take them apart and try to put them back together again, because you know they should just fit flush. If they're not fitting flush, you might have a piece of dirt or something in there. So you take your hose, run it back in through. Once again, you're making sure that wire is all the way inside, because if it's not all the way inside, then you're gonna have issues with that hose going in. And remember to take off the grip plate, because you're gonna wanna have room for the hose to go all the way out. You're not gonna be able to hit that small hole on the bottom of the grip plate. And smack the front body pin in first, followed by the back body pin, and you're good to go. And take it outside, shoot it, test it, make sure everything's good. If it's not good, go back and start from square one, take it apart and do it all over again. Maybe start replacing parts. But that is the cleaning guide for the Heretic Labs Article 1. Hope it helped you guys. Leave a like and a comment below if it did. Leave a dislike if it didn't, and leave a comment telling me what I can do better. And as always, this has been Jernsky, and all glory goes to God. Peace.